You know, when you picture a chameleon, the first thing that probably pops into your head is that crazy color-changing skin, right? But honestly, that's just one piece of an absolutely incredible biological toolkit. These animals are true masters of adaptation, equipped with some of the most specialized and frankly amazing features in the entire animal kingdom.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get into what makes a chameleon such a creature of wonder. Then, we're going to decode the truth behind that color-changing skin. After that, we'll see its mind-blowing hunting skills in action. We'll also look at how it totally conquers the treetops. And finally, we'll dive into its life, from those crazy horns all the way to the babies.
All right, let's start with the big picture. When you look past all the famous stuff, what really truly defines these remarkable animals?
I mean, is it the skin? Is it those eyes that can look in two different directions at once? Or that super slow kind of rocking walk they do? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. But the really amazing part is how every single one of those features works together in perfect harmony.
And that's really the heart of it all. Every strange and wonderful thing about a chameleon is basically a purpose-built tool. I mean, from the tip of its tail to the tip of its tongue, it is perfectly designed for an arboreal life. That's a life lived up in the trees. So let's open up this toolkit, and we'll start with the most famous tool in the box.
Okay, we all know chameleons change color. We've known it since we were kids. But the reason why they do it, well, that's one of the biggest misconceptions out there. Is it really all about just blending in with a leaf or a branch to play hide and seek? The short answer is, nope, not really. That's right. Instead of thinking about it as camouflage, you should think of a chameleon's skin more like a living, breathing billboard. It's an active way to communicate, a visual language they use to broadcast exactly what's on their mind to the world.
So what are they saying with this language? Well, a bunch of things. A male might flash these super bright, vibrant colors to show off his dominance and, try to attract a female. A rival, on the other hand, might show darker, more submissive colors to basically say, hey, I don't want any trouble. They even use it to control their body temperature, turning darker to soak up the sun like a tiny solar panel or lighter to reflect heat and cool down. It's genius.
So how on earth do they do it? It's not like they're mixing paint inside their bodies. It's so much cooler than that. They have two special layers of skin. That top layer has these teeny tiny nanocrystals. By just changing the spacing between them, they can reflect different colors, like blue or green or yellow. Then, that deeper layer handles the brightness. It has dark melanin cells that can expand or shrink to make those colors more intense or more faded. It's an amazing two-part system for controlling color and shade.
Okay, let's move on to the next set of tools in the kit, the ones that make the chameleon such a ridiculously precise and effective hunter. We're talking about its incredible eyes and its ballistic tongue.
This is just wild. Unlike us humans, we need both of our eyes working together to judge how far away something is, right? That's depth perception. A chameleon can accurately judge distance using just one of its eyes. It's called monocular focusing, and it's a massive advantage for a creature that needs to be super stealthy.
And this really shows you how it works. You can think of it as two modes. First, there's scan mode. The eyes are moving completely independently, one looking up for predators, the other scanning for a tasty bug. They're covering all the angles. But the second it spots a meal, boom, it switches to hunt mode, locking both eyes onto the target for a perfectly aimed strike.
That's right, a full 360-degree field of vision. Absolutely nothing gets by a chameleon. It can literally see a predator sneaking up from behind while it's tracking its lunch right in front of it.
So, once that target is locked, the chameleon unleashes its secret weapon. Its tongue can be up to twice its body length, which is crazy enough. But the real magic is the stickiness. The mucus on the tip is incredibly thick, about 400 times thicker than our saliva. We're talking honey-level stickiness here. Once that tongue makes contact, there is no escape.
And this whole process happens in a flash. It's a three-step strike. First, it aims, locking on, then fire. A special elastic system inside shoots the tongue out like it's been fired from a catapult. And finally, retract, pulling that meal back in. The whole thing is over in a fraction of a second. Blink, and you'll miss it.
So we know the chameleon is a fantastic hunter, but remember, all of this action is happening way up in the trees. So how does it get around its world with such amazing skill? Well, let's check out the next tools in the kit: its feet and its tail.
You've probably noticed their strange-looking feet. Well, those are another piece of highly specialized gear. They're called zygodactylous, which is a fancy way of saying their toes are fused together into two groups that work just like a pair of tongs or pincers. This gives them an unbelievably secure grip on branches of just about any size. And if 4 super grippy feet weren't enough, they basically have a 5th limb, their prehensile tail. It's not just for show, it's strong and muscular, and it can wrap around branches to give them an extra anchor point for balance. It's a huge part of what makes them so confident navigating their treetop home.
All right, for our last section, let's see how all these incredible tools come together in the chameleon's daily life. Everything from their social lives and mating, all the way to how they raise the next generation. A perfect example of this is the Jackson's chameleon. The male looks like a miniature triceratops with those 3 awesome horns that he uses to joust with other males and defend his turf. The female, on the other hand, is hornless. She's focusing all of her energy on the vital job of creating new life.
And speaking of new life, here's something you might not know. Not all chameleons start out the same way. Most species lay eggs, but the Jackson's chameleon is a fascinating exception to the rule. The female actually carries the young inside her for 5 to 7 months, and then gives birth to up to 30 live babies.
And these babies are just incredible. They're born ready to go, hunting tiny insects right away with zero help from their mom. They start out life as this dull brown color, which is great for helping them stay hidden from predators. But after about 4 months, they develop that iconic, vibrant green, all ready to use their own living canvas to start communicating with their world.
So the next time you see a chameleon, I hope you don't just see a lizard that changes color. I hope you see a master of adaptation, carrying around a perfectly designed toolkit for its life. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? If an animal's body is a toolkit, what does that tell us about the world it was so perfectly designed to live in?